All right, welcome back to the Players First podcast. Today I got on with me former Wildcat, Jonny David. Jonny, appreciate you joining us.
And Tom, glad to be here.
So give Big Blue Nation a little update on what you've been up to since graduation, what you're spending your time on, and how everything's been.
Since graduation, I've came back to Pittsburgh, been in PT school ever since. PT school's been a lot of the same, a lot of studying. Instead of spending all those hours going from class to practice all day, it's just been classes and studying, which, it's to get your doctorate. So it's pretty tough school. So, but this year coming up is going to be my last year at PT school, another year and a half. And then I would join the family business. My dad and my brothers are all PTs, and I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome to be able to work with my dad and my brothers.
Does your family have a practice in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, we do. David PT.
Who do you guys work with? Like athletes?
It's pretty much a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's from geriatrics. I've seen some pediatrics in there. A lot of high school athletes go through us, especially, because my dad's also the high school basketball coach at Mile 11 as well.
Mm-hmm.
So he had, a lot of people have known him, asked him questions. And so he's taken care of many athletes from football, basketball, all that stuff. So
how long have you known that's the career field you wanted to pursue?
Ever since I was younger, probably junior, senior in high school. I battled my fair share of injuries, so I was always in his office, and I always liked the helping people. You get to be social. I'm definitely a people person, so I like the conversation. I don't want to be doing something where I'm just sitting at a desk or something like that.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I know what you mean. Following, in the family business. My dad's a basketball coach, so ever since I was little, I've always kind of known that's the path I wanted to pursue. Whenever I was done playing, it wasn't really a question. I never considered sitting behind a desk and working a 9 to 5. So I definitely get the motivation for wanting to, follow in your dad's footsteps.
Yeah, and you're in the best spot too right now. I'm sure you're learning every day. And
that was the biggest reason why I came, to UK to learn from, Coach Cal, Joel, Barbie, KP, and the rest of the team. We just have a really amazing group of people in the Kentucky basketball program. So a lot of learning, a lot of fun every day.
And it's different. And it's different every year too. You'll learn a lot that's different from last year to this year.
Mm-hmm.
At least I noticed that whenever each team was always different. You'd have to adapt, and you get to see a bunch of different styles of play and how he incorporates stuff. So you'll learn a lot for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely going to see a much different look this year than last year. I think we have 10 new guys on the team, 11 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We had quite the roster turnaround this year, even for a program that's known for, roster turnover. How did you adjust to new teams and new teammates and get comfortable with guys throughout your time?
Yeah, no, it was always interesting every year. It was because it felt like I just showed up again and it was just a brand new team. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
There was probably 4 or 5 guys from the year before. But other than that, it was just new people, and you just kind of go in there. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to the recruiting classes and who was coming in. I would know, but people would always ask me, "Oh, you excited? Have you seen them play?" I'm just I'll see them play whenever we get there in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then just going off that and going off the workouts and stuff, you can really bond with people when you're waking up at 5:30 a.m. to go run to Nutter Fieldhouse and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is different. Every group is different. My last year was a lot of young guys, and me and Reed were the old heads. And I was at that point. It was kind of me and Reed would be the people that we'd sit next to each other at dinners and stuff, because we'd be able to have I don't know. I say adult conversations, but they probably weren't too adult, but they weren't as childish as some of the other conversations going on. But it's different every year. But they recruit great guys every year, and it's always fun.
Yeah, no, I think that's something that people don't realize when we have so many young guys coming through the program. We have guys as young as 17 when they show up to campus.
Mhm.
Uh, so when you're a senior, junior, you could be 3, 4 years older than guys, and there's a big difference where you're at maturity wise when you're coming into college and when you're about to go into the real world.
Yeah.
So that's always something I have to me and Nate would talk about is just you forget you're dealing with kids and
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Super athletic, high achieving kids, and people put so much pressure on them and are so tough on them and expect so much from them, and they're just a month or two out of high school, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, it really is. It really is.
How did you adjust going to UK from your hometown in Pitt? How was that like being exposed to the grand stage?
Um, it was definitely a lot different. A lot different. I remember just getting there in the summer times and being able to play against these guys. And first thing was just the speed and stuff was incredible. It was just so much different. And the only way to really get used to it was just playing against it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could go work out all the time by myself, but it wouldn't be nearly the same as just going up against these guys. And I mean, if you're out there playing with them and practice or pickup, you really don't have much of a choice but to get faster and get better and be able to hang with these guys. That's as far as like basketball wise, but as far as the stage of Kentucky, no, that stage is just incredible. I definitely miss it for sure. But I remember first time walking out in Madness, just kind of looking around, and it was just incredible. It's like one of those feelings you'll never forget. It's like each time I did it was like my first again. I always had to do something stupid. Like I shot a cannon one year, I punted a ball, and I did the Carlton dance. I don't know why I did that. It was, looking back on it now, I'm glad I did it because that's such a fun memory. The pictures and video of it are good too. So it's like, but I don't know, it's an amazing experience and something that I'll cherish for a while. Definitely do miss.
Yeah, no. I spoke with Sam about this last week. Just my first experience at Madness, like walking out of the tunnel, completely black except for the LED lights, 23,000 people. I spent my first year at UC Irvine where we, had average attendance of like 2,500 people. Then I went to a JC my second year where no one comes to the games. And now I'm, about to run out in front of 23,000 people. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. This is a little crazy.
Yeah, you get the butterflies for sure.
Yeah, I felt so overwhelmed. But then, you get used to it, calms down, and all the people are so nice and supportive of you.
Yeah.
Especially when you don't play, you don't make mistakes. So it's really easy.
Yeah. They're not going to be yelling at you about missing a shot or something. It's like,
yeah. Just do a good job high-fiving and, they'll love you.
Bring the energy on the bench. Yeah. And it'd be good. It'd be good.
Speaking of the Carlton dance you did your senior year, what inspired you to do that? Who came up with the idea? Was it you or?
Well, every year, like my family and like always like my teammates would just be like, "Are you gonna dance?" And they'd always kind of like make fun of me. No, you're not gonna dance. Like, I'm not a dancer. And I was talking to my family a couple days before, and they're just like, "You gotta do something. Like, it's your last time. Like, you might don't regret it. Don't be like, oh, I wish I did something." And I was like, all right, what's something I can do? And then we landed on the Carlton dance. And I was talking to him, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't practice it a couple times before, for sure. But it turned out pretty well. I was definitely embarrassed at the time. I had to have my shades on for it and everything, but still glad I did it. So, are you doing anything like that this year?
Well, hopefully we have one. I'm pretty concerned that it may be canceled. I mean, that's
definitely a concern. But if it is, you gotta do something, right?
Oh no, yeah, for sure. I'll find something dumb to do. Usually, too difficult for me.
The dumber the better, man. People love it.
Yeah, exactly.
They love it.
Throughout your years at Kentucky, who were some of the guys you were closest to? I know you came in with Jamal in that class. So who did you, and it's not like a normal school where you come in with the guys as a freshman and you play with them 3-4 years. Who were the guys you spent the most time with during your time at Kentucky?
Most time I spent was probably with EJ Floriel. He was there my freshman year. Him and Marcus Lee are probably the first two people I met. I came down for like orientation. I wasn't even down there for workouts yet, and I went to the camp with them and just hopped in the car and talked to them, and kind of hit it off ever since. I was just talking to them earlier today, actually, and probably Mike Mulder and Isaac Humphreys. Those are like my guys that we would just. It was just one of those things. We just would be hanging out every day. It was an unspoken thing that just after practice, we'd immediately, if we didn't have tutors or something, we would go get a bite to eat, go see a movie, just do something. It was just that was our crew right there.
Good guys. I don't think I met any of those guys except for Isaac Humphreys. I met a little bit. He was with the Clippers summer league team last year, I believe. Yeah. So I spent a little bit of time around him. He's a really good guy. Mm-hmm. Your senior year, you didn't live in the lodge, right? You moved off campus?
Yep. Yeah.
Where'd you go?
I was off. Well, the year before that, my junior year, I lived with EJ Floriel, and he was on the track team at the time. And then I lived with my senior year, just like some guys that I've known for 4 years. And I mean, they're some good guys, and they needed a third person. Because I was going to live by myself in the same place me and EJ were at. And they were just like, it was a lot cheaper to live with them. I've known them for 4 years. They were good guys. Don't cause any trouble. And I was like, sure, I'm down with that.
It's always fun to get, a different experience. The lodge is great. It's so convenient. You get to walk right across the street, literally a parking lot, like a small parking lot.
Very small.
Like trying to describe it to people how convenient it is really, difficult to do. But it's also nice to, get to experience something else.
I definitely got a good feel of both. I got a good feel of staying in the lodge and being really close, and then getting a little bit of freedom, away, and have I don't want to say normal life, but I mean kind of more normal college life. Yeah.
So how did you feel you grew throughout your time at Kentucky? Like when you were a freshman, your confidence level to what you felt, heading out to the real world, heading to PST school upon the completion of your 4 years there?
I definitely been through, like when I was an undergrad and obviously through the program and stuff, definitely been through a lot as far as just, I mean, you can attest. So like you're tested every day, whether it's a KP workout, getting an earful from Cal, Joel, Barbie, KP, like you're always getting tested somehow. And they always try and get the one and dones, the freshmen. They always try and have them learn the lessons, have them grow a little bit. But when you're there for 4 years, you get the message, you understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to teach you life lessons, and they don't mean stuff sometimes when they're yelling at you. They want to see how you respond mentally and see who you are as a person. Mm-hmm. And being around it for 4 years, I was definitely able to mature from that and grow from that. And I mean, if I can deal with Cal or KP yelling at me in my ear about messing something up, probably, I mean, I can deal with dealing with patients in the PT setting. And if someone gets upset with me, it's I've been through it. I've been through worse, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking of Cal calls me by 3 names. He'll call me Riley, he'll call me Ryan, and he'll call me Johnny. So I think like Ryan, kind of makes sense. Like a lot of people, it's easy to confuse Riley and Ryan, but Johnny and Riley don't really go together. But I think it was the perfect storm of my dad's name is John, and he calls my dad Johnny. Yeah. And then you were a walk-on the year before me, and we look somewhat alike as smaller white guys.
Yeah, that's true.
And then we had Johnny Juzang. So I think it was just kind of the perfect storm where I got called Johnny about once every 3 times. So he'd be screaming at me, Johnny, Johnny. And I wouldn't move because, I don't want on to that name. And that would just lead him to getting more upset. So I had plenty of fun with that this year. And you know how KP and Barb will be. If you don't do something, right when they'd like you to do it on scout team, they'll let you know their displeasure.
Yep, gold team, man, gold team.
I was watching a video the other day. We scored on the starters. I'll have to share it. It's just great execution. Joel the BC for a layup.
Oh, of course, yeah. Me and Joel lived for that. That was, I don't know if you know, yeah, our squad was me, Joel, Vince, Kevin Gow, Randy, Gregory, obviously, Barrett. I'm trying to think. We had a couple subs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you knew Borman, but he was a sub. I just got to give my gold team shout outs. They need the appreciation they deserve.
Gold teams struggled at times this year, so they try and call us yellow team. They say we weren't deserving of gold. So we always had to make that correction.
Yeah, Barbie would call us. He'd be like mustard yellow. Like,
yeah.
And I was standing on the sideline. I'm just like, not till you call gold team, I'm not gonna get out there. Just give him a hard time.
Oh, I love Barb. Barb's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you a few different ways to guard things. Then you got to figure out how you're supposed to do it. I'm going to do it this way and hope I don't get yelled at.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that because they want you to do certain things certain ways, but then like you said, they'll tell you a bunch of different things how they're going to do it, and then you're just like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do this time? Like, then you just kind of have to pick one, and hopefully it works.
Yeah, sometimes I'll have Barb tell me one thing, and then Cal will tell me another thing, and I know I'm going to get yelled at no matter what after this play.
But when it comes down to it, which one are you going to listen to? Which
Whoever
one are you going to listen to not get the worst of the two as far as yelled at?
When it comes down to it, I try and whoever seems to be less interested in that particular possession. So whoever's really focused, because Cal's worried with big picture stuff a lot of the time. So
yeah,
he might be on one end with one group, and we're on the other end going over something.
Mm-hmm.
But those are always tough positions to be in. You kind of get used to it. Like, I'm going to get yelled at. It is what it is. But we'll be fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. Been there many times.
Did Cal ever get on you during games for anything?
What do you have to get on me about? I didn't play. What do you?
Yeah. Well, I think it was. What game was it?
No, he definitely did. No, he definitely did towards the end. The end of the game, because he coaches. He's going. He has one. What's the word I'm looking for? He's one mindset. Like he's coaching everyone the same. It doesn't matter if you're up 40, up 50, up 2, down 2. Doesn't matter. And I remember before. I forget what game it was, but I don't know. I just had a turnover. He was yelling at me, run some play, and I kind of went over towards him. And some dude's coming up real hard on me, and he just caught me off guard for a little bit. And he stole it, and then next thing you know, we get in the locker room after, and he starts reaming at me. Barbie was getting on me a little bit, and I was just like, hey, I was stiff, I was sitting down for a while. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize is, because I think I heard a couple times this year you got the Riley chants.
Yeah, a few times.
Yeah. Enjoy those. Those are awesome. But a lot of things people don't realize is we're sitting there for 2+ hours.
Yes, cold.
And then it's like, all right, Riley, get in there. You got to go full speed for this minute 30 or whatever. And they always yell at you to shoot it. And it's like, I need a warm up or something real quick.
And it's not and what people also don't understand, before the game and at halftime, we're not warming up to play. We're helping other guys warm up. I'm not taking shots. So I literally may have not taken a shot since shoot around that day.
Yeah.
Or more than, a couple times during layup lines. I'm not trying to get loose.
Yeah.
And I have really bad hips. So when I sit down for any period of time, I'm pretty much done.
Yeah.
And, so I think I shot twice last year and shot 2 air balls. Very successful junior year for me.
That's not bad. I think my first time, I missed. It was against an exhibition game, I'm pretty sure. I was literally standing at the top of the key, wide open. I shot 3 shots, missed them all. Pretty, yeah. And like the first 2 were pretty bad. The second one, the third one, I believe, is like in and out. Because when you're out there and you get that shot, everyone's screaming at the same time. It just so much adrenaline rush. Sometimes it just gets the best of you. You know, it's an awesome feeling, but
no, but it's definitely, you know, it's not like something you're used to either. We don't, you know, don't get a ton of run. So playing at Rupp's always an experience. But you scored 5 points in one game against A&M. Tell me what that was like.
Yeah, no, that was that's my highlight right there. I need to have a video of that somewhere.
Was that home or away?
What'd you say?
Was that home game or away game?
Oh, it was a home game.
Perfect.
It was a home game. So I got in and I forget how, but I got fouled. I got fouled and we were in the 1-1. So I was able to get my warm-up free throws.
That's perfect.
So I got 2 free throws. They were good. And then next possession down, Isaac Humphries got fouled. He missed he made it 1 free throw, missed the second. It bounced out. And I believe it went to Brad. And I was on the wing. And the 2 guys went at Brad. He threw it to me. And I'm about to shoot. And this, like, long, lengthy – he just got in the game too, but he was like a young, like, real lengthy guy. He just comes sprinting out, jumps, like, run through. And I just took a step forward. And on the film, my foot was definitely on the line, but they gave me the 3.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. In the books, it's a 3 and 5 points. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, so my first game, my Division I high-scoring game was 5 points my freshman year. It was actually my first career college game, and it was just downhill from there. So I definitely know how much fun scoring 5 points can be. It may not seem like a lot to the outside world, but it takes much more than you know to get there.
Definitely. Especially if it was only in like a minute 15, you know?
No, that is, I mean, your per 40 is insane, you know?
Yeah. I got Texas A&M's number. I just know how to attack the defense, I guess. Like
you and Emmanuel. Emmanuel had about 30 something last year. I mean,
dude, he killed it this year.
Yeah. So speaking of Emmanuel, did you see this jump coming from him?
Thing is, yes. I think with him, yeah, he had the work ethic. He always had a great shot. I always liked the way he played. Always had like a good touch, and sometimes it just takes a little bit for people to click, you know. Same thing with Nick. Nick had all the skill set, like because I work out with the bigs sometimes, and he was always in shape for the most part. I mean, KP got him there, but he always had a great looking shot, a good shot. It would go in, crazy athletic ability, and sometimes for him and Quick, it just takes a year and then it clicks for him. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, would I have said he was going to be SEC Player of the Year this year? No, I wouldn't have expected that. But I mean, the way he was playing though, like I could, I'm just happy for him and Nick and Ashton and all those guys, you know.
What I don't think people realize too is that so Emmanuel started on and off early in the season, but he didn't start full time in the SEC play until the 4th game. I don't know how many guys in recent memory at the high major level have started the conference season coming off the bench and ended the conference season winning Player of the Year. To me, that's just mind-boggling. And I mean, even when he was coming off the bench, he would sit the first 4 minutes and play the next 36. Yeah. But still, just very interesting to me. And Emmanuel, I think, is someone who I became very close to. And I know he talked about, how he grew, not just as, not just skill-wise from his freshman to his sophomore year, but his just mentality and his mental toughness. What was he kind of like as a freshman? I heard, Cal was tough on him. And what was I think the word I was told he would use is like feel. Cal would always go like feel to him or something.
Yeah.
He didn't have feel.
Yeah, he'd always be like, feel, and just that would make Quick kind of mad during the first couple of times. But then, like you said, there was a lot of mental toughness, and sometimes, like, he does that stuff on purpose to test the guy and see where they're at. And you know, he kind of quick started getting it later on in his freshman year, I'd say. But yeah, no, he definitely, like you said, I think it's just the mental maturity and understanding the game a little better and knowing what to expect as a sophomore.
Mhm.
And then he just made a tremendous leap, which is awesome, man. I'm happy for him.
Speaking of Cal being tough on guys, it's like how tough Cal was on him on Tyrese this year.
I've heard about that.
And Tyrese handled it unbelievably well. And when Cal's tough on guys, as you know, it's not out of malice or out of, playing favorites or disliking guys. He's trying, he wants to see what you're made of. If you can handle him, he can trust you in a game. Like until you can handle him, how is he supposed to trust you to win us games and make plays for us?
Yeah.
The way Tyrese handled himself all year was amazing. And Cal's big thing with Tyrese was that he played like a high school kid. And he'd say St. Aloysius. And he'd always say, that's who Tyrese thinks he's playing against. And he wasn't in high school anymore. And he ended up buying him he got a St. Aloysius like polo and jersey, and he wore it to like one of the final film sessions. And he gave it to Tyrese. Tyrese like, I don't want this. And,
that's really funny. I'm not surprised though.
Now, it's easy to get frustrated and mad, but Tyrese going to be a lottery pick in, a couple of months. So it all works out very well in the end for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. But he does do that though to test the guys. And I remember he would always do I'm sure you've probably seen it, if someone's not shooting well, he'll stop the practice and be like, make this shot. And keep feeding the ball until they make the shot.
Yeah.
And all it is just, like you said, mental toughness. And he wants to test them, because if he can deal with that, then he can trust them in a game, like you said.
Yeah. And one of Cal's favorite sayings is, you don't have to make them all. You just can't miss them all.
Yep.
And so guys got that, especially early in the year, when this past season, where we could not make a shot. I think we shot like 24% as a team up until like the new year from 3. And then we became a very good shooting team. But, Cal always give the guys a hard time about that.
Yeah.
Your senior year, I know you and TJ started a series called All Access with Jonny David. Tell me about the inspiration for that, some of your favorite memories, just a little insight into what that was all about.
I'm trying to think. It's probably started, honestly, that maybe like my sophomore year, there's always did you guys get to do a media day when you guys went to Nashville?
Mm-mm. We literally got there, shot around for 45 minutes and went home.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. But yeah, normally there's media days before the games, after, especially with SEC and then NCAA. And I mean, I'd be sitting there for a little bit. Maybe someone come ask me a question or two, just come talk to me for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, come on, I'm just sitting here doing nothing. So I remember we were in my sophomore year, I believe, and I just went and grabbed like a Gushers, one of those like Gusher Chewies, and just being an idiot, going around asking people questions in the crowds, and people started liking it. And I kept doing that a little bit, but then finally my senior year, me, Deb, and TJ, we went out to lunch. We did a couple times, and I was kind of asked him, I was like, are we able to do this? And then TJ was all on board with it. Deb said it was good, and it kind of just went from there. It was just one of those things. Rarely was it ever planned. Just kind of just bring the mic in, and especially with the characters we had my senior year, they didn't really need a lot to go off of to get stuff going in the locker room after a game,
Mm-hmm.
Start bringing up who's better at 2K or Fortnite or.
Yeah, 2K, I don't think, you ask just who's the best at 2K. You can have a hour-long debate just off that single question.
Yep. And it's going to be the same thing. People just saying the same thing back and forth as far as like, I'm better, like, all right, play me and all that, and that's it. For
Emmanuel and Dante both swear on their lives that they played it's a specific 2K game from the summer last year, and they both swear they won it. Like, you ask either, no, I swear on everything I want. And obviously one of them is lying. They both can't have won the game.
Yeah.
But, after a year, they still haven't resolved that issue. And so anytime 2K is brought up, that exact story is mentioned. And it's just, I'm not a video games guy, so I don't really care.
Yeah,
But it's always interesting to see how intense they get into it.
and I don't think you'll ever know who won or lost that game.
No.
It might be like 10 years. You see him somewhere and be like, dude, like, so who won the game? And maybe someone will admit it.
I'd be surprised if I ever get a straight answer from either of them.
Yeah.
Who are some of the more fun guys? Like, do you remember any of the segments that you enjoyed the most of your All Access? Like, if you had to, go through in your head some of the highlights.
I remember Nick, just because Nick would always get mad. Nick never wanted to talk to me. I'd always go up to him and he'd just tell me to go away. But I'd persist, being the good reporter I was, and get something out of him. Keldon, well, he was a character. He'd always try and steal my mic. Ashton and Quick would do their thing. They would start rapping and doing a little freestyle. I think probably the best answers I've got were probably from Jamal Baker. He would always have something good to say and something interesting to say. Because he would just treat it like a legit interview.
Mm-hmm.
He would try and give a good response and stuff, but like in a joking way. So
yeah.
His responses were always good. I'm trying to think who else. Reed, I never really got to Reed or like PJ because those people would always have a lot of media around them. You know,
they seem a little bit more serious too. Reed is Stanford grad. Probably not as carefree as Keldon or Quick as 18, 19.
Not as carefree, but Reed was still funny. He would have like the more adult joke answers to it, which was still funny, but definitely wasn't as, I want to say reckless, but I'd say reckless wow as far as Keldon and Ashton were. But Ashton said he was going to do it this year, the All Access.
He did it like once or so.
I think I saw it once, because TJ sent it to me. And then it's all right.
I think it was once or twice. I remember you came at Madness and did one.
Yeah, I just texted TJ and Deb. I was coming down. I was like, "What are the chances I can get in there before?" They're just like, "Of course." And then it was an all right one. It was a solid one.
Who has your locker room up now, or who had it last year? Do you remember?
I'm not sure. At Rupp? Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't really pay too much attention, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. And we've spent very little of our time at Rupp.
Yeah, no, that's one thing a lot of people don't understand either. The first time we're really getting shots up at Rupp is
Big Blue Madness.
Madness. Or maybe the what's it called? Fantasy camp, if it's down there.
True. Yeah, no, we spend most of our time at Joe Craft for sure. And Rupp's not even that far away. Like when you think about it, it's down Rose Street, left on Maxwell, I think, and you're there.
You're there, yeah.
Rupp's a crazy environment. Like when we beat Louisville this past year, that was the loudest I heard Rupp in my time there. What was the craziest environment you ever experienced as a Cat?
Craziest for me was probably the Louisville, Kansas, and UCLA game. I can't remember exactly which year the Louisville game was. But sophomore year, the Kansas and UCLA game, I mean, we lost both of the games, but the atmosphere was just incredible. The atmosphere for those games and any Louisville games were by far the best, I'd say. And if not, my senior year, definitely the Tennessee game. That was just the best, and we came out and just smacked them my senior year. That was like the best I think we played all year. The environment was crazy.
Did you play in that game?
I don't know. If I did, I maybe played like a defensive possession, and then the shot clock was off, and we got the ball. Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure though, but we beat him pretty good. But I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not significant for me on that game.
Yeah. How was your rivalry? You went 4-0 versus Louisville, right? Or did you go 3-1 in your time there?
3-1, 3-1. Yeah.
One. Uh, what was there a particular game versus Louisville that stands out as the most fun for you?
I'm trying, I think it was my junior year. It was like we played them at home and we just destroyed them. I actually got to play against them, which is always fun to say. I mean, you got to play in the rivalry.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah. So that's probably the more fun thing for me to say. But I mean, all those games were just incredible. Even the ones in Louisville, it just the crowd environment is. I mean, obviously Rupp's better. That's a given. But just the rivalry and the energy of those games was amazing. Honestly, I'd probably say out of my 4 years, I want to say the Tennessee rivalry within those 4 years, and off the last three, I'd say we're up there with Louisville, just because they were pretty. I mean, obviously, yeah, they were a good team.
They had good teams those years.
Yeah, and they had guys stay for a while too, so there was kind of from year to year, there was always some beef between a player and another player, or just them going head to head to where they were talking trash, who was better. I'm sure. I mean, the media makes all that stuff up most of the time, but yeah, those games were really, really good.
Senior night, you started versus Florida. What was that experience like? How was what were your emotions and what was going through your mind? The whole day, because obviously the whole day leading up to it, you're going to start and play a meaningful possession.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind when?
I tried not to think too much about as far as I was just dealing I was acting like it was a normal game. I definitely got some more reps in, some more I was finding the warm ups all right, I'm playing this game. This is I had that mindset going into it, but at the same time I was taking my time, kind of taking in the moment, really soaking it up, whether it was whenever I walked out and went through my head on senior night thing or just in warm-ups, kind of just looking around at the place and looking around and seeing all these people are here to see us play, and I'm going to get to play in front of all these people. And even as I still remember it pretty vaguely, is right after the announcements and other players are going through their stuff, I just kind of went out on the court before tip-off and just kind of really looked around, kind of did a 360 and really just took a couple of deep breaths and just really soaked in the moment there. But as far as playing, I mean, it was fun. I mean, you're playing basketball. I mean, I wasn't really thinking too much into it. I was just playing basketball because I only knew it was going to be 2-3 possessions tops. Mm-hmm. I'm just out there just enjoying myself.
Was it tough walking off the court at Rupp for the final time, knowing that you weren't going to get an opportunity to, experience the same thing that was the last time you got to experience playing there?
Yeah, definitely, because obviously you never know how the game's going to go. So after when I came off, yeah, definitely a lot of that was going through my mind. Gave all the coaches a hug, kind of went down, and everyone was cheering. But yeah, shout out to my teammates though for getting a good lead towards the end against Florida, and I was able to hear the Jonny David chants one more time. Brought a big smile on my face. I'm pretty sure there's someone had a picture of it, because a lot of times I'd be like this with my jersey, mm-hmm. if, they're trying to chant, because in my mind I'm smiling, laughing, but I don't want everyone to see. But yeah, I got that one more time. Got to go in and enjoy it one last time. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't know if people realize the student section is so close to us, our own student section. Mm-hmm. I hear all the things they say.
Everything they say.
You're focused on the game, but you still are hearing things. Some of the stuff you hear is pretty funny, and you just you try and hide your emotion a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's always nice hearing people appreciate and acknowledge you, for sure.
Yeah, if you're ever at the end of the bench and someone's like this, either they're laughing of something a fan said behind them, or the students, or someone the teammates said something, and you're just trying to laugh or say something back. So you're not gonna. Don't want to get caught on TV doing that stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Or if you're wearing the jacket, pull the zipper up over your lips.
Yep.
What Well, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on. It was great talking to you. I'm sure
Appreciate you
Big
having me.
Nation's gonna appreciate hearing from you and being able to know what you've been up to these past few years or past year. So not been that long.
Yeah. But I appreciate you having me. It was a good time.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, we'll see you down in Lexington this coming year. Hopefully, we have a season. Everything's normal. Fans at the game. Wishful thinking at this point, but
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely get down there at some point.
awesome. Thanks so much, Johnny.
Appreciate you having me.